Hello and welcome to A Sex to Steer Her Sex, a star sex pod sex.
Yikes.
I don't see the problem.
He is not wrong.
My name is Jake, and joining me today are...
Chris.
Ames.
And Caitlin.
And this is episode 262 of our very sexy podcast,
Yikes.
in which we'll be talking about two very sexy episodes of Star Trek Voyager, Blood Fever and Unity. That's Blood Fever and Unity. All right, well, to start with, in Blood Fever, has this pawned far enough,
No.
or has this pawned too far?
It's
So
pawned
far.
Way too far.
This has
far.
pawned too far.
Pontoons. Little boat.
Yeah,
Much better. Let's have that episode.
So, as you may have guessed, it's a pawn far episode, but not Tuvok, our resident Vulcan. Our boy, Dingleberry. What's his fucking name?
Varric?
Is that it? Is it Varric?
Vorik.
Vorik.
Voric. There we
Vorik,
go.
that little
Alas,
bitch.
poor Vorik. I knew
So,
him well.
yeah, we open up and, we find out that there's this planet that's got some unobtainium we need, and
Have we even heard of this shit before? It's like
It's
galvanite or something.
it's very important.
Gallicite, I think.
And we need to go down to the planet to get some, and it's been detected.
Get some.
You're gonna get some on planet, alright.
Well, you know who wants to get some is Vorik,
Damn it!
our Vulcan engineer. And he basically, he comes right out and says it to Bly. He's like, listen, I'd like to bang you. And she's like, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. And then he's like, no, I really want to bang you. And then he grabs her by the face in like a very threatening way, very assaulty way.
Yep.
And then she like
You know,
breaks
unlike
his jaw.
all those not assaulty ways you can grab someone
Yeah,
by the
well then
face.
she breaks his jaw.
And they don't
so...
report it to Tuvok, which
Yeah,
makes me very
So it's
angry.
like the doctor, and then the doctor examines him, and he's like, you know what? He's got there's some kind of brain problem here, and then they have this conversation, and Vorik's like, yep, I'm not. We don't talk about it with outsiders, and Doc's like, yeah, but also you got the pawn far. You know, you want the vagina, but you can't have the vagina, and now you're gonna be in big trouble. And he's like, yep, that's about the size of it. All right, you don't even know the size of it, really. Episode proceeds. We end up beaming down to the planet, so yada, yada, yada. Turns out Vorik's having kind of a rough time of it. Tuvok gets involved. He's going to help him out. Can't really help him out. So, Doctor's like, I got a great fucking idea. Holodeck. Why didn't anybody else think of this? In the history of Vulcans, nobody thought of the holodeck. Well, so it kind of works. It looks like it works, but maybe it doesn't, as we'll find out later. Meanwhile, down on the planet, B'Elanna, Tom, and Neelix are doing some cave diving.
Was spelunking.
Harry Kim not available this episode?
He was not there. We don't see Harry at all this episode. So yeah, so Neelix is there, and we're basically doing the old rappel down a giant fissure in the ground.
Spelunking.
Isn't spelunking?
Cave diving.
That's like underwater, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
No.
Just caves.
I don't know if I'd call it spelunking though, because it's more repelling. That's
Okay.
what they do.
Can you rappel while spelunking?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's a big part of spelunking.
I think you can
Is
in
it?
Europe.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, to be
Ask
honest
a
with you.
Vulcan.
They're very big caves, though.
Mm.
So, of course, Neelix, being the goofball that he is, doesn't properly secure his line or something and falls basically to his death, except not, because B'Elanna breaks his fall or something. It's very unclear what actually happens when they fall off the wall and barely get hurt.
Yeah.
But they fall off the
Whoa,
wall.
Neelix broke his leg. I mean,
Yeah, that's
how
true.
much more hurt do you want?
Well, I figure falling that far down...
Oh no, it should have killed him.
Yeah, they should
For
both
sure.
be dead.
Yes.
I mean, the gravity on this planet is
Yeah, there you
lighter.
Maybe the rocks are made of
Pillows.
pillows.
There you go, pillow rocks. So anyway, B'Elanna, she's got the rage now, and she's
was my nickname in college.
and she yells at Neelix. You almost got us killed, you piece of fucking shit. I fucking hate you.
That has nothing to do with this episode. It's just how she's always felt about him.
And then Tom's like, hey, chill out. And then she's like, fuck me. and she like
Basically.
she does the old Klingon face bite on Tom, and he's like, okay. And then she's like, no, and she runs away, and she's angry. Klingon style. Episode proceeds, and like Tom calls up to the ship. He's like, "Hey, we got problems down here. Neelix is hurt apparently. I got bit on the face by B'Elanna, who's going crazy, and we need some help." And Tuvok's up on the ship. He's like, think I know what's going on. When a Vulcan in heat touches a lady, well, sometimes she gets the fever too, even though she's not really a Vulcan. So it turns out, now B'Elanna's got the farr.
This is like when Luoxana's horniness was contagious.
I just rewatched that episode.
Oh,
yeah.
poor
So in this
thing.
case, it's Vorik's
Terrible.
angry horniness that is contagious, and B'Elanna's got it now. So we beam back down the planet. We got Tom and Dick and Harry. No, Harry's not in this one.
Just Dick.
Just Dick.
Lots of Dick.
Lots of Dick. Tom and Chakotay and Tuvok go trying to find B'Elanna. They finally find her, and she seems like she might be a little bit better because she's found some of the unobtainium, and she's all excited. But then they get jumped by some weird rock people.
The Stone Men from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and they're like, "What the fuck you doing here?" And they're like, "Well, listen, we don't mean you any harm. We thought this planet was uninhabited." And they're like, "You fucking jerks."
And no one checked.
Well,
Even
what's
though
her problem? She's just really horny.
Chakotay did at the beginning say, "Does anyone have a claim to this planet?" And they were like, "Nah, it's uninhabited. It's fine." For once, they never fucking check.
So yeah, there's actually some people here, but they don't seem too bad. They're just a little freaked out that somebody found them. And then B'Elanna's like, "No!" And she mows them all down with a machine gun. Oh wait, that didn't actually happen. But she thought about it.
Oh, definitely.
And then somehow it's really unclear what happens next.
Really unclear.
Because they're in a room, a very small room, with like 3 of the Rockmen and then the 4 Voyager crew, and then somehow in like
Earthquake?
in like there's like the ground shakes, and then there's like a flash or cut, and now suddenly
I have no idea what happened.
we're separated by miles.
They mentioned that there was like some instability in the rock wall. I remember
but they
like one of
didn't
the
show
rock
it. They
dudes was
didn't
like,
show
"Oh
it.
no, instability."
They didn't show it. It's just cut to B'Elanna and Tom now alone and separated from everybody else. So they're trying to find their way back, and the whole time B'Elanna's like, "Yo, Tom, let's do it." And he's like, "Listen, this is neither the time nor the place." And she's like, "All right, you're right, but let's do it." And it's going that way, and then they're just about to do it, and then they get rescued, and they're like, "Oh, thank God we don't have to do it." And then they get outside, and Tuvok's like, "Hey, Tom, do it." Because he's like, "Listen, B'Elanna is gonna fucking lose her mind. She's gonna die if you don't plow her."
Which is not the kind of ego stroking that Tom Paris really needs.
Yeah, but he's like, "You know what? I was kind of had a thing first, so why not?" And they're just about to do it, and then who should show up? Our old friend Vorik, the horny asshole.
How did he get down there?
Apparently, he was...
security.
Apparently, he pretended that he was healed of the farr, but
but Vulcans don't lie, Jake.
It was a ruse. Well, they do.
Well, it was more like an admission of the truth, Ames.
They're really just not when they're on farr, because he's got it bad, and they're and then he shows up. He's like, "No, we gotta do the fight. And
You're my girlfriend.
And you think it's gonna be the old Caliphie where Tom and Vorik have to fight to the death. And then B'Elanna she's like, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna be my own damn champion."
That was pretty good.
And
The rest was trash.
So they have a fight. They have a big old fight. She kicks his ass. I mean, they kick each other's ass, pretty much. And
no one dies.
No one dies. And apparently they both came while they were fighting, because at the end, they've got that recovery period, and everyone seems kind of chilled. And now we kind of have like a little hint at a romance between Tom and B'Elanna, because he just happened to be there when she got the farr. So there you go. That's
also Borg.
Oh yeah,
and only at the very end we get a little tease.
In this episode of all fucking episodes.
Because Chakotay's wandering around the planet, and he's like, I wonder what wiped out the civilization that lived here that now has to live underground.
They're so scared that they won't even come up for plants or roots or anything.
And then they find it. It's a corpse of a Borg.
Bum, bum, bum.
So
that's pretty good.
I looked up this episode.
I'm so sorry.
Because I was like, Jesus, a man has to have written this, and I was wrong.
It's always that way, isn't it?
It's in fact, well, what's really crazy, it was written by a woman whose credits include Hippocratic Oath, The episode where Julian tries to heal the Jem'Hadar. Cure the Jem'Hadar of their addiction. Resistance, the Joel Grey episode.
Oh, that one.
She did an uncredited rewrite on Dreadnought, which was decent
Was
enough.
it Jerry Taylor?
No, a woman named Lisa Klink.
Oh, Lisa Klink. Yeah, she is one of their writers.
She wrote Remember, that one where B'Elanna got the memories from the genocide planet. On the other hand, she also wrote Sacred Ground.
Woof.
Ooh.
Did the teleplay for Warlord, which had decent-ish moments.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten to it, but she wrote Message in a Bottle.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Message.
So, quite a few more hits than misses. But this one, hoo boy.
Okay.
There's
I
a
don't
difference
think this
between writing the story and writing the teleplay. If you write the teleplay because you've been saddled with the story.
True,
I also
true.
don't think this is a terrible episode.
I do.
I just think that
Ooh,
it's
this one,
icky.
she is just listed as the writer, not as writing the teleplay. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think she wrote this
I
one.
mean, I didn't find this episode terrible. I found Vorik terrible, but I'm okay with having a terrible character.
So I think
It was just so uncomfortable.
Do you
there
want-
was like 3 times more sex time than there needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want the woman's perspective on this? Because there's nothing but rape allegory.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Really
That's
gross.
why I was like, this has to be written by a dude. I was shocked.
It is very rapey.
Well, and it's on both sides too, because she's like, Tom, like she's trying to coerce him and saying
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like it's coming from all sides. It's just
I guess maybe the
rape
sign,
all the way down.
maybe the sign that it was in fact written by a woman was that one moment where Tom is like,
No, but
"You're
consent
not in your
is
right
sexy.
mind."
That
I
was
really
good
shouldn't.
for Tom. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that element of the Tom character in this episode, even though I read that both Bobby McNeil and director Andrew Robinson
Saw that too.
were like, why would Tom be saying no? We don't understand. And I'm like, oh my fucking god.
Even Andrew Robinson didn't get it.
Apparently, that's what I
Come
read.
on.
I mean, it was literally in the dialogue why he was saying no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless they just mean they feel like Tom is too much of a heel to get it.
Well,
Which, fair enough.
but I
guess.
don't think he is. I mean,
Neither do I,
I think
but-
he's a pretty stand-up guy.
Generally, yeah. He's an idiot
Yeah,
sometimes.
he's an idiot
but-
and he's a bit of a horn dog, but I don't think he's a rapist.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
there's
no,
a big
I
difference
mean-
between being a horny guy and being a rapist.
Yeah. But yeah, so here's the thing. Knowing what we know of the pawn farr,
Which is that it's a bad idea that the writers had many, many years
it is
ago.
a bad idea that the writers had many years ago. Although, I mean, it led to, I think, Amok Time's a decent episode. You know.
Although it's also going to lead to one of the worst Enterprise episodes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well,
that-
like so many things, it's like it was good initially, and then people started to fuck with it.
yeah.
Well, the more
The
you
Weeping
think about
Angels
it,
and Doctor Who come to mind immediately.
but,
like, the more you think about it, though, the more it's just so problematic because you can say, especially in fucking Star Trek 3, where it's really problematic
Oh,
to me.
gross.
You
Yep.
can say, oh, it's okay that he's sexually assaulting you because he's going through Pon farr. And the thing is, you can't say, it's okay he's sexually assaulting you, even if there is a caveat at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think, I don't think they meant for it to be this, obviously, but certainly it's a fine allegory for the dangers of insufficient sexual education.
I thought that too. I really loved the doctor scene. It was a great doctor scene.
Yeah, you're so fucking Victorian about this.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to throw logic in your face, Vorik? Because I'll do it.
What frustrates me, too, is, fucking Vulcans, man. They are the worst.
Yeah.
They would not get away with so much of the shit they get away with if they weren't a founding member. Like any other species, we're very secretive about our mating ritual. Yeah, your mating ritual turns you into a rape monster. So you're not allowed to be secretive of it and be in Starfleet.
Well, but also it's not a secret, like we all know.
Well, yeah, we know because we're viewers. It sounds like, generally speaking, there's not even a lot in the database. And it's just like, fucking really, Vulcans? Like, you turn into psychopaths during this.
Wait, but how? Okay, but like how? Okay, how is it possible that there isn't more information than this though? Like, literally, was there not a whole breakdown of what happened during Amok Time? You're telling me that Kirk didn't have to report this since he legitimately
I think it's a known that it exists. It's just that there's not enough data for the Doctor to know how to treat it.
And I think maybe the real extent of how it... Because here's the thing, we actually don't know how often, like in TOS, there was mention of an all-Vulcan crew on a Starfleet ship. There's at least one mentioned in DS9 with that prick racist Vulcan captain. Like, it could be that when they can, Vulcans just tend to serve on majority or exclusively Vulcan ships, and Vulcans in mixed crews are actually kind of rare, which again is something they shouldn't be able to get away with, but, you know.
Yeah, I get the impression that most of the time when a Vulcan hits farr, it's fine to go home.
Yeah.
And say, hey, wife, check out this.
But here's the thing. It must be true that not every Vulcan has... I mean, okay, assuming Vulcans are monogamous, which I'm pretty sure the ones that we've seen are, or, I mean, so that seems to be the general, I mean, who knows? I mean,
certainly
different strokes for different folks, but, you know, between Sarek and Tuvok and, you know, ones that we'll see in the future, it seems like they're generally monogamous.
Well, it's easy for Sarek to be monogamous because he's going to outlive like 12 wives.
That's right. But yeah, it stands to reason that unless the sexes are completely balanced on Vulcan, that somebody's going to get left out. Like, somebody's not going to have a mate. So does that mean that there are, like you think on Vulcan there's places you can go, like, they're brothels that are just, but not for, like, pleasure, just like, I got to get over the farr.
Maybe that's a thing that those random Vulcan priestesses deal with sometimes. Like, we don't have a mate for to dickhead here.
They just give handies.
To dickhead.
I'm just picturing to pow. All right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think about, like, it never even occurred to me before watching this episode for some reason, but, like, are Vulcans, like, homophobic? Because you figure all their pairings are, you know, strictly for the sake of propagating the species, so they're not making, you know, non-heterosexual matches. And so what if a Vulcan is like, look, I'll go through with it because I'm forced by biology once every 7 years, but at the end of the day, I like to sit around and drink tea with to dickhead over here.
To dickhead.
I also wonder, like, how does sexuality work in... It can't be... Because there's really... I don't know, because there's some people do seem to have romantic attraction, romantic love.
Bro, I mean, Sarek has to. He's fucking humans.
Well, yeah, but hasn't he been marrying them for, like, political reasons? At least
That's
Amanda?
what he says, but...
Well...
Yeah.
He does seem to love Amanda.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, like, so much of this is... Are Vulcans homophobic? Don't know. Maybe check each Vulcan individually.
But I guess the question
the producers are the ones who are homophobic.
Yes, that we know. But also, I do wonder
except when it's women. Then it's hot.
There are homosexual Vulcans. Like,
that's
do
what I
they
mean. Like,
exist?
if we consider,
Probably.
like, let's say Vulcans let's take them at their word, which is always a stupid thing to do.
Oh no.
But let's take them at their word for this thought experiment, and that, except for when the farr drives them, Vulcans are asexual, but not necessarily aromantic. So, like, are the Vulcans okay with, like, look, again, every 7 years, because you people program us, I'm gonna go fuck this woman. But at the end of the day, I prefer to spend time with other dudes. And that's effectively my romantic situation. Like...
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, it's something that they've never explored because in the past they wouldn't have had the balls to.
Maybe, because here's the other thing. Maybe in Strange New Worlds you'll see any more of this, because I know, and I looked this up and the timing works out poorly. Because if we're releasing this episode, I believe the week before Spock Amok is going to come out.
Oh,
and
right.
from what I've gathered just from trailers and episode summaries, is we're going to go hang out on Vulcan. And I'm going to wild guess it because, you know, this hasn't come out yet. By the time we're both recording and first releasing, farr?
Maybe.
Okay, here's what it's going to be.
Do it.
Going off of what Chris was talking about, it's going to be Spock, Kirk, / but with Sam Kirk. He's going to be giving mustache rides to Spock.
Oh.
I love his horrible mustache. It's wonderful.
The Sam Kirk mustache?
What I delight that little twist. It's like, good. Sam Kirk. You fuckers. Brilliant. I love it.
I was done with it.
I love that they gave him the terrible mustache.
The mustache
so
is
bad.
Fun. The joke was forced.
It's Kirk.
Not that Kirk.
Oh, we tricked you.
I was kind of hoping that there was going to be a Tuvok and Vorik situation, since he was the only other Vulcan.
Oh, God, not with Rick Berman in the room.
No, well, I don't mind if Rick Berman leaves the room first.
Well,
Fine
unfortunately.
with that.
I mean,
See, here's what I expected, because I didn't realize, foolishly, like a fool, that Vorik was lying when he said, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Your holodeck fuck puppet totally worked.
Fuck puppet!
I'm totally over by
Oh.
Ponfar now." Fucking liar, Vorik. I assumed he was telling the truth because he seemed fine. And when he appears down on planet, I was thinking, oh, because I forgot the end of this episode. Oh, this is a holographic Vorik with an emitter or something that the doc programmed up to go bang Torres.
Oh, that's an idea.
but Torres doesn't want to bang for her.
No.
Well, to go fight Torres? Unclear. Like, they should have... Like, how do you... Like, there's no good way to resolve this situation when the answer is either I have to fuck someone or kill someone.
Mm.
Because either you end up raping somebody or you end up murdering a crew member. Neither of which is okay, unless you trick them in the holodeck to make them think they're fucking or killing somebody for real, but actually you're tricking them, which is even worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Everything is bad about fucking Ponfar.
So
Yeah.
on Vulcan, when they play Marry, Fuck, Kill, the answer is always yes.
I will say, I did appreciate that if you listen closely during the fight scene, there's definitely hints of the Amok Time music in there.
Perfect.
Like, at first I was like, oh, no, losing 1,000,000 points for not using the right music.
He literally said that out loud.
But then they actually did put in little hints of it, which is like, all right, I appreciate that. Well done, you. Shockingly, I mean, I didn't do a huge search, but it does look like somehow no one has ever just taken that scene and put the Amok Time music over it, which is shocking.
You should do it.
Mm,
Drake, get on it.
yeah. I would have liked to see there be more consequences for...
Any consequences.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, like, again,
They told Vorik, go meditate in your room, and that was it.
Yeah.
and like, again, like, I get it. You fucking weirdos are super secretive about this, but in a situation like this, where there's no good answer, it's time to stop being so fucking uptight. Like, Tuvok, sit the hell down with Janeway and Vorik and figure something out.
Well,
Especially when he's like, just let them fight. And everyone's like, it's their culture. No. Oh, Vulcans.
to quote the great George Costanza, we live in a society. We can't just have Vulcans going around sexually assaulting people. It's not cool. And like, here's the thing, right? So when Spock got it in Amok Time, he just turned into an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't try to... Well, he also knew he had to get to his wife.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. He knew he had...
He started reprogramming the ship.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, though, is in his case, he was like, he knew he had the ability to get home in enough time.
In Amok Time.
Yes. So, like, that's the thing, like, there have to have been other times where Vulcans, for one reason or another, were like, oh shit, something has gone...
Oh, like on Star Trek 3.
Yeah, against plan, and it just gets weird. Vulcans are the worst.
Now, is Vorik just a late bloomer?
We said before, like, the rules of Ponfar seem to just keep changing.
Yeah.
Like, it's every 7 years once it kicks in. What actually makes it kick in? Depends on the episode.
Yeah.
Maybe, I wonder if it is, like, something to do with... So, like, young Spock in Star Trek 3 was near, he's basically spent his whole life around Savick at that point.
Yeah.
So maybe there is some sort of pheromonal thing.
Yeah.
It was clear from an earlier episode that Vorik was already kind of into
Mhm.
Torres. So maybe that piqued his hormones and then it triggered it.
Maybe. And even he said, like, at first he wasn't sure what was going on.
Spock in Amok Time was hanging around Chapel, and maybe that that kicked his off.
Not enough plomeek soup in this episode.
Yeah,
That's what Chris said.
Yeah, when Tuvok showed up, I really wish Vorik had just winged a bowl at him.
That would have been pretty good.
I also appreciated, and I don't know if this was like... I feel like maybe this was something Tim Russ suggested, but before the fight, Varric was making the same exact face and doing the weird finger steeple Leonard Nimoy does in Amok Time. Just
That's
like,
a good
meh.
point. That's a good point. Speaking of Tim Russ, apparently the original plan for this episode was to have Tuvok go through Pon farr.
Hmm.
But then they said, no, it's going to be really squicky because we know he's got a wife at home, and that gets into a territory we don't really want the kids at home watching.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing that's squicky.
Yeah, that's the squicky thing. And then they realized, okay, well, let's not do that. In that case, when it gets passed on to Torres, for the longest time, like up until like the day before producing, it was going to be Torres and Tuvok in the cave together. And then they flipped it and said, no, let's put Paris in there. I don't know if I read why specifically, but they changed it to
But
Paris.
here's the thing: it wouldn't have worked with Tuvok because Tuvok would have been logical about it and just been like, "Oh yeah, no, we should definitely have sex." Like that's what he would have done.
Because otherwise you're gonna totally die.
Yeah, he's like, we have to get rid of this thing, so let's do it.
And then tell me, what about your wife? It's like, she would understand. It is a logical.
It's logical.
It is logical.
Yeah. Whereas like Tom, you actually have because like he is into her, so there's a temptation there, but he's too good of a person, I guess, to do it without being basically ordered to.
Oh, I really did hate when
That
Tuvok
was-
ordered
that-
him to fuck her.
Yeah, that was the part that really I didn't care for.
Didn't like that.
So much wrong with it. You know what I did like?
Yeah. Good. Need something.
The very, Chakotay just talking to the rock people.
Uh-huh.
Just being like, look, we didn't mean any harm. We'll help you hide better. Like, he just
I like that. That's
talked
a good
them
point.
down. Very Star Trek,
Yep.
Like, I'm going to
They
be
came to a deal.
reasonable.
He did a diplomacy. It was perfect.
And he didn't take his clothes off first.
It'd be great if like they were in that cave and like there's like we're distracted with the fight between Balan and the guy, and then it just pans back over to Chakotay, and he's got like one leg out of his pants. Like, oh, we're not doing this.
Oh, Chakotay, you weird fucker.
Yeah, what else was kind of interesting, I'll give Andrew Robinson a little credit because filming in a cave scene is kind of tricky, so he did a lot of handheld camera stuff.
Nice.
Sometimes I felt a little whiplashy with the camera swinging around, but mostly like I get the effect that you want it to be very intimate and in their face.
Yeah.
But it also meant that a lot of those scenes in the caves were lit primarily by their little wrist mounts. So it was a lot of Dawson and McNeil having to pause and say, okay, now make sure in this scene you're shining your little flashlight in Dawson's face so that we can see her.
God, especially then when like you really just had to light TV so brightly.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot get over that the Vulcans have existed for many, many centuries as a people.
Yep.
And this apparently is a biological process that apparently doesn't happen to Romulans.
I was going to
At
ask
least we
about
haven't
them,
heard about
yeah.
that.
Well, it's because Romulans didn't bother bottling all that shit up, and they
Yeah,
just fuck all the time.
Romulans it's just a nonstop fuck party on Romulus. But
Well, see what they do. That's why they wear those stupid jackets. It's to really help
hide their boners.
To like suppress the libido.
ah,
It's like, man, what is with those stupid jackets? And that just kills your boner right away.
yeah. Speak for yourself, Chris. But I cannot imagine that in thousands of years of existence, nobody has like come up with a system to deal with it. Because there has got to have been times
Even
when
like
it was
medication,
masturbation,
or like
that is just
or
how
brothels,
that is just how fucking stubborn they are.
very puritanical.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about it too. Like humans and Vulcans have a very similar lead up. Like they're cultures that are constantly at war and infighting and dealing with bigotry and scarce resources and whatever, and then nearly destroy themselves. Like that's one thing they have very much in common. And humanity recovers in one way and the Vulcans recover in another. And at first it's like, oh yeah, the Vulcans, they did not get it. They actually fucked up completely. They overcorrected. Like, humanity's got its goddamn problems, but shit.
I also expected Vorik to kill T'Pera, the Hollow Girl.
Oh God!
Like, suddenly she's just gone. I'm like, did he splatter her blood all over the holodeck?
Oh God!
Ew. No, she is just... I mean, here's the thing. It didn't cure him, but he tried. She's in the shower.
See, it would have been better because I think at that point we've already established that you either need to fight or fuck. It would have been great if, like, the doctor brought Vorik to the holodeck. He's like, I think I have a solution. And, and she's there and she's in her thing, and then she just, from off screen, she just pulls one of those fucking swords.
There you go.
And, it's like, and then you just see Vorik, like, crack a little smile, like, okay, let's do this.
Or alternate take, bring him to the holodeck. It's not on yet, and he's like, I've been analyzing. I think I've got a great program. Turn it on, and it's that stupid space jujitsu Riker did with his dad.
Oh, and Bojitsu.
There we go. Just like that is the.
Specifically with Riker's dad.
Yeah. Hollow Riker's dad. They fight and then they fuck, and he's cured.
You know what was really missing though from this episode more than anything?
Harry Kim.
Creepiness.
Jingle bells.
Yes,
with jingly bells.
Sorry, I was immediately thought of the Christmas Carol. No, you're right. Not enough jingly bells.
Immediately thought of the Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Speaking of Harry Kim, sadly, I didn't really notice his absence until he shows up at the end of the next one. It's
Harry Kim.
So, was he off doing something these couple of weeks, Garrett Wong? Was he, doing a guest spot on Law & Order or something?
I don't know if he was necessarily busy. I'm sure this is on the Delta Flyers somewhere. But I think he said, he was having lateness problems or something.
He was having what problems?
Getting to the studio late.
Oh.
And they maybe had to just write around him sometimes. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to recheck.
There was a scene in this one where Janeway talked to a person that was at the ops console, at the ops station.
Yeah,
it wasn't Harry?
And it wasn't Harry. It was some lady.
What the fuck? Why would he turn up late?
Traffic in Los Angeles is infamously bad.
How are you going to make Star Trek wait for you?
Maybe his car imploded. I don't know.
So he just doesn't show up to work, and Jennifer Lean's the one that gets shit canned.
Oh, yeah. I think, and I don't want to put words because I'm behind on Delta Flyers right now, but I think he has said somewhere, people were trying to say that I was partying too hard in LA, but that wasn't the case. I think he was just having trouble getting to the studio. But I don't want to misremember something. So
speaking of Jennifer Lean, she wasn't in this episode really either. She was in the sickbay scene, I think, but she didn't do much.
She shows up briefly in the next one.
If she were there, she'd get sexually assaulted.
That's
good.
Yeah. That was. What was that? Or is that? No, that's the next one. Never mind. I'll talk about it then.
Yeah. Two more minor notes. One was that in my book, The Delta Quadrant, they noticed that if you figure out the star date, this episode takes place on Valentine's Day.
Gross.
Disgusting. Vomit in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, it's gross.
Jiminy fuckmas.
And also, so we see a Borg at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So we're teasing that, it was the Borg. Kind of like how we got that tease in, I want to say Neutral Zone. That, somebody's doing shit in the Neutral Zone. It's going to be Borg. That things are happening, so they're setting up. Granted, it pays off very quickly.
Yeah, shockingly quickly.
But apparently the writers were like, do we include Borg as threat? Because they were all convinced. They read First Contact, which had just come out, as all the Borg are gone. Not just these Borg are gone.
Who read that? Who thought that?
The producers and some of the writing staff.
Oh.
So they're like, do we include Borg? And they're like, yes, we include Borg. We're doing Borg. We're in the Delta Quadrant, damn it.
There
be Borg.
Quadrant.
Yeah, it's funny too. I remember when I was watching the episode, they're like, invaders, less than an hour. I was like, sounds like the Borg, but the Borg don't leave ruins. Oh, I guess these ones did.
Cool. Are we moving on then?
Let's move on. Speaking of the Borg, I'm
right.
so done with fucking blood fever.
But man, the sexy times don't stop. So we've had Vulcan sex, we've had Klingon sex, we've had human sex.
So much of that.
Get ready for Borg sex.
Nice.
Hot Borg on Borg action.
Resistance is. Oh wait.
Oh no.
Flaccid.
Wait. Let's hold on. We can make this work.
Do it.
Fuck.
I don't think you're gonna make
pretending you don't have a boner is futile.
Okay, there it is.
It's not great.
We'll add your biological distinctiveness to our own. So here we go. All right, now we're talking about Unity. So we're out tooling about. We got our good friend Chakotay is flying around with Ensign, and they're on their way, I guess, back to Voyager, and they pick up they're in a shuttle, by the way, and they pick up a distress call, and they're like, we should check this out. It's a Federation. What? So they go check it out, and they find this planet, and they land on it, and they're like, hello, anybody here? We're in like a little settlement, and then some people come out and start shooting at him, and they both get shot. And then Chakotay wakes up a little while later, and there's a pretty lady, and she's like, hey,
your ensign's dead.
Yeah, the girl you're with, she's dead, but you're cool, you're fine, sort of.
Is the shuttle okay?
Nope, somebody stole the shuttle.
Dang it.
It's been disassembled.
And she's like, yeah, so we basically, we're just some people here on this planet in the Delta Quadrant. I'm a human. We got Klingons, we got Romulans, we got everyone's here, the whole gang.
Sounds like the 37s a little bit.
It's a little 3070. We got abducted by aliens. That's basically what happened. And we woke up here, and we have a little society going. And some of the people are jerks, and that's
and you're
who
dying
shot you.
of that head wound.
Oh yeah. By the way, you got some kind of neuro situation, but it's all good. Meanwhile, the Voyager's tooting about, and I don't remember how, but they just came across a Borg cube.
Oh God.
I
gasped.
And they're like, what? There's a fucking Borg. Oh, shit. The fucking Borgs. God damn it. Janeway's like, all right, kick it in reverse. We're getting the fuck out of here. And then they're like, Borg cube seems kind of dead. Maybe we could, beam over there and check shit out. And she's like, you know what? That's a great fucking idea. Let's go visit the Borg ship.
Yay.
It's always a good idea to poke your head in to check out what's happening on a Borg cube.
Yeah. Now, come to think of it, though, going to a Borg ship usually works out good. It's really only
it's when they come to you that
it's
bad.
when the Borgs come to you.
You've got a point.
So it's usually okay to go to a Borg ship, even when they're totally Borgy. But it turns out this one actually is pretty dead. It's just shut off. They just shut the whole thing down. And they find some bodies, so they're going to check that out, let the doctor do an exam on that. And so that's going on. Back on our planet side, where Chakotay is recuperating from his injury, and his new friend here, she's acting a little cagey. He's like, yeah, I love to see your shit, your little town, and she's like, nah, I'm gonna go out of this locked door and then leave and keep you in here, and he's like, oh, okay, and there's like an armed guard patrolling. So he's like, this might not all be on the up and up. So he busts out of his little prison when the guard's not watching, and he goes outside, and what? Oh my God. All these people are like Borgy looking, but they're not full Borg. They got
They seem nice.
There's like Borg, but like 19th century Borg kind of, because they got like raggedy clothes, and they're doing carrying baskets of stuff. And then she seems like, oh, God damn it, oh, you've seen us, and her hair's gone. She was wearing a wig, so now we can't, and we can see that they're poking around on the back of her head, and she's like, listen, I'm full of shit. We didn't get kidnapped by aliens. Well, we did, but it was actually Borgs, and they made us Borgs, and now we're Borgs. And but
we're lapsed Borgs.
We're on our ship, and some shit happened. An electrical storm. We got zapped, and everyone woke up, even though we were still Borgified. We all just what the fuck? And and we came to this planet, and we figured out how to take apart our Borg bits, and I got myself a cool fake hand, and
somebody else?
They replicated it, she said.
Yeah, she used Borg replication technology.
So, that other person that lost an arm, I guess, fuck them.
Yeah, there was another, well, maybe they didn't want one. And she's like, look, and Chakotay's like, you know what, that's all you had to say. And she's like, look, we need some help, though, so maybe when your ship gets here...
But what about Chakotay's head injury?
You can give us some guns. And he's like, yeah, I'll talk to my peeps. And he's like, oh, God, I got a headache. Shit, I gotta lay down. And it turns out, no, that whatever they attacked him with is actually killing him. And Borg lady and another Borg dude are like, look, we can heal you, but you're gonna have to be a Borg to do it. And
temporarily.
We got a little
15 minutes.
Temporary Borging device, and we'll just hook you up to it. And Chakotay's like, you know what? If it's a choice between that and dying, all right, sure, let's do it. So they form a little tiny collective. It's very very nice, and they chant away Chakotay's brain injury, which is nice. And he's feeling pretty good. And then afterward, it's like, I still got a little residual Borg in me. And
would you like a little residual Borg in you?
Exactly.
Like, oh, do you feel it when I touch myself like this?
So
what about like this?
Everyone in the community does. Oh God.
So then Chakotay fucks everybody, including himself, apparently. And so everybody gets to have sex on this planet with Chakotay.
During this scene, I was like, I want you to fuck me in the ass so you can feel yourself getting fucked in the ass by yourself.
See, what I said during this scene was right when they're about to get all hot and heavy, the Romulan doctor, like, is feeling really constipated and has to take one of those horrible, like,
No!
Why the fuck are you like this?
No!
because I wanted to ruin the sexiness because it was making me
Too
uncomfortable.
much sexiness. Let's think about blood fever again and get angry.
So anywho, but it turns out it was a little bit of a ruse because Chakotay, on his way back to Voyager, decides to take a little detour to the Borg cube. Oh yeah, because that's right. The Borgs, they're like, listen, when the Voyager gets here, we got like one other request in addition to the guns and food and shit. We want to be hooked back up to the Borg collective, but not the real Borg. We just want to make our own little Borg collective with just our friends.
Private server.
Yeah, exactly. A little private server.
It's because the other people on the planet, all the other ex-Borgs, the what do we call them? Borg lights or whatever they are, keep attacking each other.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a Tower of Babel.
So they're like,
metaphor.
listen, if we hook up to the collective, we'll all become friends again. And Chakotay's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, I love that idea. You're so smart. So then he goes to Janeway with the idea, and Janeway's like, "You fucking kidding me? No, I'll take it under advisement. I'll give it all the consideration it deserves. Don't worry."
And she did.
Oh, I've got your answer, and it's...
So Chakotay, he's on his way back to Voyager, and he starts hearing the voices of his new Borg friends in his head, and he's like, oh. And they're like, burn things, Danny. But before that, go to the Borg cube and turn it on for us. So he does. He goes to the Borg cube, turns it on. His friends show up, and they're about to shoot him, and he shoots them. Harry Kim's there, almost gets shot.
Oh, Harry! I forgot about him.
Tuvok gets shot. And there's a little shootout, and then he turns the Borg cube on, and the fucking Borgs wake up!
Oh, no!
Who could have foreseen this?
And like
Janeway! That's who!
Oh, yeah!
Back on Voyager, they're like, alright, everyone beam back. Let's get the fuck out of here, because the Borgs are back. The Borgs are back in time!
That's good.
Now
there's your
my
title.
boyfriend's back.
Your Borg friend's back?
There we go.
And you're gonna be in trouble.
So, but right as they're about to leave and get GTFO, the Borg ship blows up, and they get a call from the Borg, the good Borg calling. They're like, listen, we're really sorry. We took advantage of Chakotay to make him do that for us, but it was all for the best, because all our friends are friends again. And,
we're super Borg now.
but we're very Borgy. We're going to talk in the Borg voice.
I did miss the Borg voice. I didn't realize how much I missed the Borg voice.
But don't worry, we're the good Borgs. Just call me the Queen.
Oh, no. Borgs.
Borg.
Yeah, so I think I liked this much as I hated Blood Fever. I liked this one as much as I hated Blood Fever.
That's a lot.
I thought it was alright.
Well, maybe because I did really hate Blood Fever, but maybe it's because this season has been pretty
Yeah.
so far. This has been a kind of season. I know we've got some good stuff toward the I think it's very weighted at the end of this season that there's better stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this season isn't a hope is lost season. But this one, I think, was back on the right track. I liked the kind of thought experiment of, if these are good Borgs, do we let them hook back up because it will help them? That's kind of a nice ethical conundrum to put Chakotay in.
Yeah.
Great use of Chakotay for a change.
Yeah.
I really liked and appreciated that.
Yeah. Though, again, this just really reinforced for me my complete lack of belief that he ever would have joined the Maquis.
Fair. Yeah, very fair.
Everything about him is just so milquetoast and Starfleet.
Well, he's also so optimistic. He's such a good guy. When fucking Riley asks at like one or several points, "Oh, while you're shipping back, haven't you ever thought about just staying on a planet and setting down roots on the nicest M-class planet you can find?" And he's like, "Constantly,
just every time."
Yeah. But and again, it's fine. He's actually fairly consistent, but it just what they have written of him in this is completely at odds with his alleged background.
As I pointed out, he could be a Thomas Reichert-style Maquis who wants to be a hero, not a terrorist.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, he still feels like a strongly worded letter guy.
See, I think so much of it all is all like if you look at the Maquis, they have very like moral reasons for why they do things. And I can see Chakotay saying, like, morally, I believe in what the Maquis stand for. Like Eddington did. And that was really nice for Eddington.
Yeah.
But Eddington also had the capacity to do nefarious shit when he had to. And I don't think Chakotay has that.
No.
But he's definitely got the mindset of we want to do what's better for people who've been fucked over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, that's the thing. How do you get to be the captain of a Maquis ship?
Yeah.
Without the ruthless side.
Maybe he was a
seems
second and someone died.
Maybe.
How many people were on that ship? Because I feel like there have been a whole bunch on Voyager.
Yeah, there was
it
a
like
pretty big crew for a little rinky-dink ship.
Yeah, I guess, the Maquis, beggars can't be choosers. And again, I'm not, again, like I said, they used him well here. It's just when they use him well, he's more sort of traditional Starfleet than anything else, so it just doesn't work in some ways. His background, not anything else.
Yeah, Janeway is more mavericky than he is. Isn't
Yeah,
I like
definitely. It. But yeah, it would have been nice to maybe have a little more time on the moral dilemma. Like maybe spend a little less time on the setup. Just cut the weird touching themselves and each other at the... When Star Trek tries to be sexy, it's mostly uncomfortable. I really don't tend to enjoy it. They're bad at it. Makes me sad.
One of our blog activities should be what's the sexiest Star Trek episode.
Sub Rosa.
Good answer.
Well, which, I mean, in a way, if that's correct, it just shows how low of a bar it really is.
True. Oh god, there was one moment though. They really fucked up the bald cap on, I've forgotten. Riley. Because you can see the line.
Oh, honey.
I missed
thank
that.
goodness
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, thank God it was only in one scene. But yeah, no, overall, like, at first I was like, what's happening with this? And then once they got to the reveal, I was like, okay, I'm more on board now.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of ex-Borg, which is the same kind of, like, how do we treat these people?
Yeah.
And Chakotay gets on board pretty quick when he, like, sees what they're like. He sees this little co-op that they've founded. Yeah. Which is good for him.
It is not going to last.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all...
We saw that in Descent, right? Like, you can't have, like, an isolated Borg colony. There's going to be a jerk that comes along.
Well, that and the fucking Borg are on their way anyway, because of that drone the Doctor woke up. And apparently, maybe he didn't tell Janeway he'd woken up, by the way.
Well, wait, is that what we think? Because that was... I don't know, was that actually implied that, like, he started phoning home?
Yeah, I think they said as much. Like, there's a chance that he would have sent out a signal.
Oh, I didn't get that
either.
But we also didn't get any, like, comeuppance from the good Borg side, so I kind of wonder if maybe... Because you said that when we were watching it. You were like, he must have just sent a whatever, but I don't think they ever made it explicit in the
Yeah, see, I think turning the cube back on probably did.
Yeah.
And then they blew it up, so...
Yeah, no. But even if the Borg don't show up, yeah, no, they're as Chakotay, questions at the end, I wonder how long their ideals will last. 10 seconds, maybe? 15?
Well, because that's the thing, right? The good team, right? The peaceful ex-Borgs, ex-Bs, as they call them in the Picard show. The peaceful ones are very much... they're like, oh yeah, everything's going to be real nice. But they're not realizing that there's just as many people that are going to be...
Way more people.
Equal.
They said in their little co-op was 100 or a couple hundred people out of 80,000 on this planet.
So there's a shitload of other people that are going to be part of this collective, and they're the violent asshole jerk people.
Well,
so what makes them think that, the peace will win out? No, the stronger... the stronger voice in this collective is going to be the dickholes that want to go be dicks.
Well, I mean, plus, the supposedly nice ones are the ones who unilaterally decide, we're going to reinstate this little closed Minecraft server.
Yeah, and Janeway made a good point saying, like, I'm not... Out of all the reasons to say no to this, there are so many. Like, you don't have the consent of these other people to hook them back up to the Borg brain.
Yeah, which is like, how's that different than
The Borg.
The Borg.
Yeah, it's like, thank you, Janeway, for bringing that up. Thank you, Tom, for not having sex with Torres last episode.
Yeah.
Good for these two, and everyone else is just doing it wrong.
Well,
Yeah, so wrong.
Here's the other thing. For all we know, we're only getting the side of the collective, pro-collective Borgs.
Exactly.
For all we know, they're not the good guys, and that like they maybe since the moment they left, they're like the junkies are just need their fix. They need to get back in their collective.
Yeah.
You know, they invented a little machine so they could do a temporary collective, but that's not good enough. Maybe all the people that were attacking, the people that attacked Chakotay, were just like, oh shit, they got a fucking ship now? They're going to go back to the cube. Fuck this.
Yeah.
You know, for all we know, the people that we're just being told are the violent jerk-offs are actually the good guys. Or not the good guys, but they're the ones that just don't want to be part of the fucking Borgs anymore.
Yeah, which is completely fucking fair.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think this would be interesting if there were more follow-ups to this to be like, oh, yeah, that was actually a horrible mistake. Or not a mistake, even. I mean, it wasn't Chakotay's fault that he got manipulated into doing that.
So how much of that was him literally being puppeted by his little mini collective, and how much of it was them having convinced him to do it?
I think it was very much a
puppeted?
puppet situation.
Okay.
I mean, he shot Tuvok, right?
Tuvok was asking for it.
Like, I don't think that would have happened if he, you know, as Chris said, you know, he's not a fucking maverick. He's not someone that's gonna defy orders.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Literally.
Yeah, if they had established him as a character that kind of will go against orders from time to time when he thinks it's morally right, then sure, but that's not who that character is.
Yeah, like I think maybe the most you can argue is it was a little easier for them to sway him because on some level he was
sympathetic to their
sympathetic
plan,
to their cause and thought Riley was hot.
Well, they also convinced him. Well, not even convinced him. I mean, they showed him how wonderful the collective is.
Yeah, and he definitely was a little high on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a, just try some, man. To this
Or
whole
collective peer pressure.
What did you guys think of them having said that at least some, if not most, of the people on this in this little planet came from the battle at Wolf 359?
Nice callback.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I think I'm getting a little like it's diluting the whole we're in the Delta Quadrant thing that we're seeing the Alpha Quadrant remnants
I just
so
think
much.
it was that one. I mean, I'm guessing that the Romulans
From the neutral zone.
came from the neutral
There you
zone where
go.
their outposts are getting attacked.
The Klingons just seemed to be some random battle because they
Yeah.
cut to like a Borg cube and a couple of Klingon ships. And
Yeah, so I think it's probably just that the cube that they happened to be on was one that was previously, in the Alpha Quadrant.
well, and we don't know. Some of them could have been
But
transferred.
but that's the thing
Doesn't
though.
seem
The
like anything the Borg
cube
would
the
do,
cube
but-
that was at Wolf 359 was destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nerds have gotten
wait a minute.
hung up on this.
So
before.
how did like what?
They used a Borg Queen sphere and got away, and then
Well, that's
used
what
their
I'm
ability
wondering.
to go through time, Iconian Gateway, and then
Well, we do know
the
they have
Traveler is
they have-
come.
They do have transwarp conduits. We know that much.
They do, but it does seem a little weird that the two cube. So there's the cube that was patrolling the neutral zone. May or may not have been the same cube from Wolf 359. I don't think we ever.
They never
established.
say either way, so it's up to
Where?
you.
Everywhere. No, that's changelings. Rats.
But certainly the cube at Wolf 359 was destroyed,
Yeah.
along with all the Borgs on it, except for one.
Okay, here we go.
Do it.
They fuck up all these ships at Wolf.
Bow wow.
And they're like, we're going to keep going. But they sent a signal back home to be like, hey, there might be some biological and technological distinctiveness to vacuum up. So they send another smaller,
Scout
cleanup crew cube to be like, oh, come here, you. Okay.
Well,
and they go back.
There are other Borg ships in and around the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they were like, look, we can't stop and deal with this. We've got a plan to deal with. Could someone swing by and just see if there's anything left?
Would this episode have had the same impact if there hadn't been this connection to Earth and Riley wasn't from Texas? Like, do you think Chakotay would have still gotten along with these people if they were just Delta Quadrant ex-Borgs?
Yeah, I think that would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been fine, and, I think it would have...
They could have had stupid bird heads.
Oh, God.
There you go.
That was kind of annoying, where it was like, you're human. It's like, how do you know? How many species have you met that look... they don't even have...
Almost all of them.
A token, bump somewhere. Like, come on, dude.
I mean, Chakotay did.
So, I think they even say in this episode that they are still in the Necrit expanse.
Yeah, which...
So it is expansive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been interesting if we had seen some of the other species that we had seen previously.
Oh, that's true. I want to see a Talaxian Borg.
Talaxian Borg.
I still want to see a Ferengi Borg.
It's like the one society they won't take in. They're like, there's literally nothing to be gained here.
Aww.
Well, I think we said it before. The joke is they assimilate a single Ferengi, and his lust for money overwhelms the entire collective.
It's like, we're just gonna, instead of doing assimilating, we're just gonna go into the casino business.
Yeah, they just open a bunch of McDonald's franchises.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. Anyway, I kind of like that Chakotay is an optimistic dumb idiot.
Yeah, I like that about him. And it makes me really, really wish that they did more stuff with his character. Like, this was actually, I think, a very good use of his character.
Yeah.
And that optimistic, moral side of him. It's like watered down Maquis.
Yeah.
Like all the ice in this Maquis has melted and he's watered it down.
Maquis fresca, aqua fresca.
Well, he's Maquis seltzer, which is slightly flavored with rebellion.
He's the White Claw of the Maquis.
Oh, he could at least be truly.
Oh wait, this is the 90s. He's the Zima of the Maquis.
That's right. And there's back when seltzer options were fewer and further between, because everyone was still just sucking down tonic like no tomorrow.
I love the last note, because I ran out of room on my card to take notes. So my last note is literally in just all caps with exclamation points. Whoops! Borg!
That's the episode title.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that we'll be seeing some more of the Borgs.
Nope, this was it.
Since we've had two episodes now that have teased Borg. We should get some more of them.
There will be some good stuff, and then I think it's generally the consensus that they do way too much Borg stuff.
And water them down horribly.
With the ice and the seltzer. And,
yeah.
But for now, I'm still very teased. I'm still very excited. I do enjoy Borg. You know who else I enjoy? Moving on to our race that we're talking about in today's Blogtivity. And in honor of Blood Fever, why did I do it this way? Damn it. In honor of Blood Fever, we're going to talk about our favorite Vulcans. And I know we're going to see tons more Vulcans in Enterprise. I happen to not know many of them, and the ones that I do know from Enterprise aren't going to be on my favorite list. Spoilers right now.
I mean, they're the worst. So. I mean, I
but
love
are they
them.
the best at being the worst?
They are. That's the thing. Is I feel like I remember when Enterprise first came out. A lot of people were complaining that they were mischaracterizing the Vulcans, and it was no, this is actually, in retrospect, is the show that's the most honest about what shitheels they are.
Yeah. After this episode, Blood Fever, we get to see more of that in Enterprise. But for now, I'm going to talk about the Vulcans that I think are my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Automatic number 1, Tuvok.
Sure.
Easy,
Oh.
very easy answer.
Very original.
Thanks. Why?
I'm just being a bad.
I don't know, maybe I just don't... I also... Vulcans... Most of the Vulcans I think that I've seen are fine. They're not my favorites.
Or they're complete assholes. So
yeah,
it's
but Tuvok I like because I think Tim Russ brings it all the time. He brings so much nuance to a Vulcan that I think it makes it way more interesting than a lot of the other Vulcans who are either just trying to act unemotional or just acting badly.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance with a Vulcan.
There really is.
Trying and failing to just do a Leonard Nimoy impression.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they do better if more of them tried that. Because, again, I think, like you said, Ames, too many people don't get this. No, they're not actually emotionless. They just suppress the fuck out of it.
Yeah, and you gotta kind of see that in the eyes a little bit.
They have to occasionally give it away.
Yeah, like I said once, I was watching an actress in auditions for some show. This is a side tangent, but fuck it. We were watching auditions for a show we were doing, and I had to comment to the director, man, I really liked so-and-so, because there was a moment in her audition that you could see she stopped and was thinking, but was thinking as her character.
Yeah.
Like, the character itself was thinking. It wasn't the actress thinking, okay, now pause and make it look like you're thinking. No, the character itself was thinking, and I think that's how you gotta do a Vulcan.
Yeah. And I think, like, actually, too, there was, I meant to mention this when we were talking about it, but in Blood Fever, there is a moment where Tim Russ kind of makes a face where he's hearing these, like, and you can tell Tuvok has figured out exactly what's going on, and is internally going, fuck.
But suppress it.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing your best Leonard Nimoy, I'm going to say if you're going to pick a Spock, you got to pick a specific Spock, because there's been a lot of Spocks. So the Spock that I'm picking is Mirror Spock. Actually, because I do actually really like Mirror Spock, because you can see that he's conflicted in this world.
Yeah.
Whereas no one else in the Mirror world is conflicted. No one else has the kind of, I'm going to say emotions, because he does.
Yeah.
That Mirror Spock has. And I like that he's able to see things for what they are in Mirrorland. Good on you, Mirror Spock. And the goatee looks great.
It does.
And the last one, I had really trouble trying to pick a last one because none of the other Vulcans I thought were that interesting, so I'm going to give it to Valeris.
Oh, Valeris.
Oh, there we go.
That rancid bitch.
Yeah, because she's a rancid bitch, because she tried something new.
Being a rancid bitch.
So, I'm going to go with, number one, I'm going to be totally original and thoughtful and say Spock.
Which one?
Just original.
TOS Spock?
Just TOS Spock,
Movie Spock, or?
No, I mean, just Leonard Nimoy. There is no Vulcan without Leonard Nimoy. He is, every Vulcan since has been in some way, shape, or form a reaction to or attempt to copy him.
Yeah, most of them fail at that.
Yeah. It's like we talk about how Armin Shimmerman kind of helps codify what's great about the Ferengi. There have been a lot of Ferengi before him. A lot of what are the Klingons is, it starts off with Christopher Lloyd in 3 and then really solidifies with Michael Dorn.
Oh.
But he is
Gowron.
he is the first one, but he nailed it. So Orange has been copying the original. 2, Tuvok.
Yay!
Because he's very good at it.
He's so good.
He definitely gets the idea of Vulcans. And 3, Cybok.
Nice.
Ooh,
I was hoping Cybok would make it on the list.
That is just a mess of a movie. But fuck, if Lawrence Luckinbill isn't doing so much better than that film deserves. As a character, he's so interesting. He's this guy who's just like, maybe my culture is dumb, and it kind of is.
Yeah. Have you seen Blood Fever? Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And, he's like...
He's got a great sense of humor,
He
which I
does.
like in a Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he realizes that you don't have to suppress the emotions, but you can root them out in a healthy way. Yeah, it almost feels.
I don't know if it's very healthy the way he does it.
Well, I mean,
it's with good intention because it's trying to therapize people a little bit.
But he turns them all into kind of
That's
zombies.
fine.
yeah, he ended up going too far.
Listen,
but,
my favorite
I don't
was
think he's gone
Valeris.
far enough.
That's how Vulcans do. They overcorrect. But, he's interesting. He's a compelling... It really is a shame it wasn't a better movie, because the idea of Cybok is quite good. And so I have to give him some credit.
Do it.
I'm quite annoyed that you took my Cybok, because I was going to say Cybok.
You can still say Cybok.
I mean, I am still going to say Cybok. I just, for all the same reasons you said, and it's interesting to see a not-so-Vulcan Vulcan. I would also say that I actually really like Discovery Sarek.
Oh, cool.
Sarek, whatever. Because I feel like he does a really good job of showing us the emotionalness side, if that makes sense. Emotional side of the Vulcans, the protection of his family, and even though he seems to be being a cold bitch, he's actually doing a lot of stuff for their own actual good, and I really like that about him.
Yeah, and he can't be that average of a Vulcan if he's fallen for a human woman.
Yeah, and he's taken in a human ward. And,
Yeah.
And everything he does is logical, but everything he also does is kind. Except to Spock.
Yeah.
Fuck Spock. Spock didn't go to the Vulcan Academy, so fuck him.
Yeah.
What's your third, Caitlin?
Probably Tuvok.
Yay!
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, he's I think one of the really solid characters in Voyager.
And he also is just like the first sense Spock where you really, so like Leonard Nimoy as Spock, where you feel like he really gets it.
Yep. And it's mostly because Tim Russ is such a nerd about it, and I adore him.
I did notice in the most recent Strange New Worlds, that at the very least, Ethan Peck picked up on the over-enunciated R
I noticed
with
that
records.
Too. I noticed that, yep. That was funny.
Man, Tuvik's getting no respect from you people.
Well, is he
Do you want to
technically a
say
Vulcan?
Tuvix?
Is Spock technically a Vulcan?
Oh, touche, bitch.
He's also only half old.
Anyway,
You saying Tuvix, Jake?
I'm not saying Tuvix. I just thought it was fun to bring it up. No, my answers are going to be Sarek, specifically Mark Leonard.
TOS Barrick.
Yeah, TOS/TNG. I think they're both good.
That's a good play. Yep. Oh, he is great in TNG.
Yeah,
He's great in
because
everything. What a fucking waste of his character.
And I think building on what Caitlin was saying about Sarek, he's a bitch to Spock, but he does love Spock.
Aww.
And he gets when he goes to Kirk and says, you gotta, I need that chakra, Katra, whatever. I need that shit. And Kirk's like, I don't got it. And he's like, damn it, then my son is truly dead. And, you kind of, your heart breaks for him a little bit. So I like Sarek a lot. And I like Mark Leonard a lot. So
he's a great.
Good actor.
My next answer is going to be T'Pau.
Yay!
Because, she's a cold bitch. But as we'll find out in the future, in her younger days, she was a bit of a spitfire.
She was.
And she only grows up to be the stone-faced, wised old woman after many years of being forged.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her at Enterprise. Of the things at Enterprise, I'm looking forward to.
But yeah, I like.
I had no idea, so that's exciting.
So I like young T'Pau. I like old T'Pau too, but I especially like young T'Pau. I think she's pretty cool. And then I also said Mirror Spock.
Yay, nice. Good choice. You know what? I was very close to saying Spock 2 from the Infinite Vulcan.
So tall.
Because I think that especially, there's what we see of Mirror Spock in the episode, which is that, despite living in this really fucked up world, he is still at his heart a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And then to later learn that he used that as a more or less a contagion to bring down the Terran Empire is also fascinating.
But then the KCA rolls in.
Yeah.
Damn it, Mirror Spock.
Yeah. So really, I mean, at the end of the day, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't in the Mirror universe. But
it's the contagion is not totally gone though, because it's still there with Smiley.
Yeah, Smiley is the
natural torchbearer.
Yeah, and Tuvok. Tuvok's in the Mirror universe.
That's true.
For all we know, he works for the Resistance. So
true.
He's a good guy.
There we go.
Some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Silar.
Who's Silar?
Oh,
she was the Vulcan doctor.
God, why did I blank on that so hard?
Oh, who was the Kalar's actor.
Yeah, played by... Well, the name is gone.
Oh, shoot.
Damn it.
We were just talking about her the other day.
I know, we were.
Susie
Plaxton.
Susie Plaxton, there we go.
Yeah, because I enjoy Susie Plaxton. No one said Savick.
Savick was an honorable mention, but I was like, it's gotta be, it can't be...
It's gotta be Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, it's gotta be Kirstie Alley. Because Robin Curtis was fine.
She did what she could.
Yeah.
She seems like a nice lady.
But then the more I thought on it, the more I'm like, but Savick didn't, do a lot.
Except, molest a child.
Well, that's part 3 Savick.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
But even Kirstie Alley, she navigated the ship out of space dock.
She learned about the Kobayashi Maru and what it meant to Kirk.
Yeah, so I don't she doesn't really do much. Yeah.
She's no Valeris.
I will say, I think Jolene Blalock as T'Pol, she does, I think, as best she can with what she's given. I think
Doesn't she start off really weak in the acting?
She's not a great actor.
Yeah, she's not, but
I think they got her an acting coach though, and she gets better.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
and I think and the problem is again, she's just the writing
Oh, yeah.
serves her very
Berman.
poorly.
Berman's there,
Yeah, I don't
right?
think Berman. I don't think she was hired for her acting anyway.
No, but they also mild spoilers, but for a long time the show can't decide which male crewman she's secretly in love with.
Oh, no.
And that, I think eventually she settles into the character well enough. The writing, again, through all 4 seasons just kind of betrays her. But she does really well, I think, eventually with what she's given. So I think she's, and the Vulcan ambassador is just the bitchiest prick in space. And I don't know if he's a good Vulcan, but I love what a bitchy prick he is.
I am very surprised you didn't say the Vulcan who had the baseball team in...
Oh yeah, no,
The
he is.
baseball episode.
He is again great at just being just a despicable prick.
He's a scumbag.
Oh, he's just everything wrong with Vulcans. So yeah, credit to that guy as well. He did a great job.
I think it's Solok?
That sounds
Something
like a Vulcan
like that.
name. Yeah, why not?
Likes wrestling.
Mm.
Does he?
Yeah, they originally had a
He pinned.
Oh,
Didn't he pin?
okay.
He pinned
Yeah, yeah,
Cisco.
yeah they had a wrestling match and wrote 12 papers on it. Weirdo.
What a fun guy.
He's not a mushroom. He's a Vulcan.
Speaking of fun, guys, we're going to have some fun next week, too. We're going to do more of these kinds of blog articles. You can check out this one up on our Tumblr page. I'll have screen grabs of these guys and some spare screen grabs for whenever we overlapped in names. So those will be fun to look at on the Tumblr. Next week, we've also got more Voyager to go through. Next week's episodes are going to be Darkling and Rise. Neat.
Darkling Duck.
Dang it, I was about to say that.
Let's get dangerous.
So dangerous. You can get dangerous with us over on Facebook and Twitter.
Nice.
You can listen to all our past episodes over on the SoundCloud or, wherever it is you listen to podcasts. You're you. You know what you like. You know what's already on your phone. So yeah, do that. Join us next week. Until then, I will be Ames.
I will be Caitlin.
I will continue to Jake.
And this is always Chris. Live
It
long
is-
and prosper.
It is only logical.
There we go.
Facts.